What's up, man? Boy, um, just listen to some of these videos, man. I listen to a lot of people, man. I go around listening to a lot of different channels, just to hear their perspective and see, what they're saying about, different fights and what their reactions is, what their predictions is it before and after the fight, the reactions before and after the fight. Everybody from Dwyer to boxing beats and rhymes to blood to 78 black fight fan. I listen to a lot of guys go on their videos and skim through and see what they speaking on. I've been doing that before I started my own channel 10 years ago. It's been about 10 years ago since I started my channel, or somewhere up in there, and I continue doing it. So I don't block anyone or say, okay, I'm not going to listen to this person because I disagree with them. It doesn't matter if I disagree with someone. It's cool to have healthy dialogue and disagree with someone, but this is about this video is largely about, y'all see the title, the Ldbc is hating on Terrence Crawford win. They're trying to diminish this man's victory over Showtime Shawn Porter, in which that's the guy that they said that Terrence Crawford would not fight, that he was reluctant to fight Shawn Porter. I have a lot of respect for Shawn Porter as a fighter. The guy fights everyone. When he goes in there, he gives it his all, and he has close fights with a lot of these guys, a lot of these top guys, and really good fights, with all of them, from Terrence Crawford to Earl Spence to Keith Thurman to Adrian Broner to Danny Garcia. So he has fought all these guys very tough. Some guys, it was some discrepancy whether he won or not. He fought Kell Brook. So it was three out of those guys, well, four, because Danny Garcia and what's the name. But I thought, some of the fights were close, and obviously he lost, most of them. He lost to Kell Brook. He lost to Keith Thurman. He lost to Earl Spence, and now he lost to Terrence Crawford. But the only thing that was separating those guys was that up until he fought Terrence Crawford, none of those guys was able to stop him. Now, Earl Spence was able to put him down. Keith Thurman didn't put him down. Keith Thurman hurt him real bad a couple of times, but he didn't put him down. But Earl Spence was able to make him his gloves touch the canvas, and he gets in there with Terrence Crawford, and Terrence Crawford put him down twice and stopped him. His father had to throw in the towel. His father said that was enough. Do I believe that Kenny Porter robbed us of a photo finish knockout? Possibly he did. Do I agree with what he did? Yes, I agree, because that's his son. I mean, some people get on here and say, well, I agree that he should have stopped the fight. I've been listening to a lot of people. They say, well, I agree that he should stop the fight because that was his son. And then on the other hand, they disagree. So it's like an oxymoron. It's like either you agree or you don't agree. I agree that this is what I do know. Terrence Crawford was coming downhill on Shawn Porter, and Shawn Porter was fading. Shawn Porter was fading before the knockdown. The body shots really took a lot out of him. And that's a subtle thing that people mostly look at headshots. People don't really look at body shots, and what damage a body shot can do to you in the fight. And Shawn Porter fights a frenetic pace. So he fights a high energy fight. So if you go to his body and go to his body early, you can just possibly slow him down later in the rounds, because he's already exerting a lot of energy, and the body shots takes a lot of energy out of you. It takes away from your endurance, your power, and everything. It just takes everything out of your legs. And Terrence Crawford was doing a great job of doing that instead of just head hunting, because it's hard to hit Shawn Porter in the head on a consistent basis, especially early. So yeah, Terrence Crawford was coming on. Shawn Porter father, first of all, he knows his son. Second of all, he never seen his son get knocked down twice like that. And third of all, he seen that Terrence Crawford was getting stronger and stronger and stronger, and he was starting to pick Shawn Porter off. And now, people are saying, well, the win is controversial. How is it controversial? Because I'm gonna tell y'all this. This is the ways a fight can be stopped. Whether if you're knocked out cold, if you're counted out, if the referee stops the fight via that he thinks you're taking too much punishment and he don't think the corner is willing to stop the fight, if the corner stops the fight, and if the commissioner come up on the ropes and stop the fight. So one of those things happen. Let me repeat. One of those things happened. The corner threw in the towel. How was that controversial? What's controversial about the corner throwing in the towel? Unless we're going to start having fighters just come out without a corner. Hey, look, if a fighter come out without a corner, I believe one guy did that. I believe did that fighter that fought Hawkins? Did he come out without a corner, man? I think so, but I have to look at that. But unless he come out with a corner man, the corner man can stop the fight. Now, I know in the Deontay Wilder last fight with Tyson Fury, he told Malik Scott, don't stop the fight. So Malik Scott could not stop the fight. No matter how much Deontay Wilder was getting beat up, he was ordered not to stop the fight. I think that's to me, that's wrong. It's wrong-headed. It's not intelligent to tell the corner to not stop the fight. Sometimes a fighter has to be saved for themselves. You can be too brave where you're gonna end up in the grave. Is it worth dying for? It's a lot of people on here that say, well, you should go out on your shield. A lot of y'all guys never boxed before. It's easy for y'all to say that. Let somebody go out on their shield. You never laced up boxing gloves. You never sparred 1 round, 1 minute, 1 second, 1/10 of a second. So that's easy for you to say. So let me get back to, you cannot diminish Terrence Crawford's win, his victory. Why? Because Errol Spence didn't stop him. Errol Spence wasn't the first, because Errol Spence said he was going to stop him. It didn't happen. Terrence said he was going to stop him, and he stopped him. He said, I'm going to stop you. When I look at you in your eye, I tell you, I'm going to stop you. And that's what he did. He stopped him. And it's, let me say, it's weird. It's crazy for y'all to see what y'all seen and then say it's some controversy. It's controversial. It's nothing controversial about a corner throwing in the towel. It's just not. Now, you can say that the fighter didn't get enough punishment in your eyes, but the corner man has a right to stop the fight. He don't have to wait for people to say, well, he had enough. Look at the crowd and say, do y'all think he had enough? It's up to him. It's up to his discretion to see that his fighter either is not fighting back, is tiring in the fight, or he took too much punishment. And he thought that his son was at the point to where it was going to get ugly. It was still 2 more rounds left, and it was still a lot of time in that round. It was still plenty of time in that round for Shawn Porter to get knocked out cold, because it was coming, because Terrence Crawford had found his rhythm. He was starting to find a target both upstairs and downstairs. So, and Kenny Porter, he didn't want his son to go through that. And if he can keep his son from going through that, all power to the man. If he can keep his son from going through that, maybe if it was somebody in Shawn Porter corner that wasn't his father, would they have let it go on? I believe so. I believe they would have let it go on. But it wasn't. He had his father. He chose his father to be in his corner. And look, his father is in his corner for a reason, to protect his son at all costs. Protect his son at all costs. So just because Errol Spence didn't stop him, and it's all about, well, Shawn Porter was going to retire anyway. So what they got to do with Terrence Crawford that he was going to retire anyway? And I'm going to tell y'all this. If he would have beat Terrence Crawford, he wouldn't have retired. If he'd have beat Terrence Crawford, his next fight payday would have been excellent. He would have had a big payday waiting on him. And remember, Shawn Porter was trying to pursue the Errol Spence rematch because he kept saying he wanted a rematch. Even at the press conference, he said, "I want a rematch." He not like just like he said he wanted a rematch with Terrence Crawford. He said, "I want a rematch with Errol Spence." So you think if he would have beat Terrence Crawford, he was going to retire? I don't believe it. I could be wrong, but I don't believe he would have retired. It was just too much money on the table. That would have been a big rematch between him and that would have made the rematch between him and Errol Spence even that much bigger because he was would have been coming off the biggest win of his career, beating a pound for pound, either one or two best pound for pound fighter in the sport. You know what I'm saying? Even though I got Canelo pound for pound, I got Canelo pound for pound. I had Crawford pound for pound, but now I got Canelo leapfrogged him. This victory over Shawn Porter. See, I look at the victory over Shawn Porter different than y'all. It's not spectacular to me. It's a great win for Terrence Crawford, but it's not. Let me see. If he would have fought Shawn Porter when Shawn Porter was a WBC champion and it was a unification fight, maybe I would have had him back over Canelo. But the fact of the matter is, Shawn Porter didn't have a title. Errol Spence had beat him in the unification. And for the record, Errol Spence, to me, is still the number one welterweight. Even though I got Terrence Crawford stopping them when they fight, beating them when they fight, I still have Errol Spence the number one welterweight. He not the king. He not the outright king because he don't have all the titles. He's not undisputed. But he is the number, in my eyes, he's the number one. That's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, he's the number one welterweight still. He has 2 titles. Terrence Crawford has 1. I'm gonna keep it consistent. I'm not gonna bend. I'm not gonna curve my opinion based on if I like a fighter or I dislike a fighter. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna give people their just due. You know what I'm saying? I remember when Terrence Crawford beat Carol Brook after Carol Brook got beat by Gennady Golovkin and got his eye cracked and was out of the ring for about a year and a half before he fought Errol Spence due to he had to get his eye to get healed. And when Errol Spence beat Carol Brook in Manchester, I was impressed because I picked Carol Brook to win the fight. I was impressed. I was highly impressed. That win over Carol Brook was a better win than Terrence Crawford stopping Shawn Porter. To me, that was a better win because that was for a title. He was in another man's country, another man's backyard, and with another man's fans all over the place. And he was losing the fight to me in the first 5 or 6 rounds. He was losing the fight. And he kept grinding until he ground Carol Brook down and he cracked Carol Brook's eye. See, I give people their credit. I didn't say, well, after the fight, Carol Brook already had a cracked eye from Golovkin. No, give that man all his credit, his due credit, because that's what he earned. That he went to another country, another man's backyard. That's hard. That's hard to do when you don't have everybody rooting for you. So the LDBC guys, there's people like 78, Drew Titan, Black Fight Fan, all y'all guys, after the fact, trying to say that, this and that about Shawn Porter. And look, it's Shawn Porter's job to be ready. All I was hearing was Terrence Crawford was having a bad training camp because, hey, look, I listen to y'all channels. So y'all was saying it's speculated out there, it's a rumor out there that Terrence Crawford is having a bad training camp. He getting dropped in sparring. Okay. You know how many top fighters probably got dropped in sparring and it never got out, or probably got beat up in sparring and it never got out? Do y'all think every top fighter goes into sparring and dominates every sparring match? That doesn't happen. You're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. That just doesn't happen. And if you sparring other top fighters, you're not going to just be dominating and running over those guys. Those guys are top fighters for a reason. A lot of them are going to give you trouble. You're going to get them trouble on one day. They're going to give you trouble another day. You may get dropped. They may get dropped. That's what boxing is about. No one goes in there and just dominates everybody. So, and it's because it's different styles. But like I said, man, you can try to take credit from Terrence Crawford, but look, I know I know what's coming anyway when he beats. I know that y'all know it's coming, that he's going to beat Earl Spence. Y'all know it's coming. And now there's people out there talking about the pay-per-view numbers. I don't care about the pay-per-view numbers. I don't care that Terrence Crawford did whatever he did pay-per-view. I don't care. I still want to see him fight Earl Spence. The pay-per-view numbers had nothing to do with me. Look, Terrence Crawford is a free agent now. Remember, y'all all wanted him to be a free agent. The man is a free agent. He got away from Bob Arum. You know what I'm saying? He's a free agent, so let's see what he does. Let's see if maybe he may go to PBC, maybe he may go to the Zone. If I was Terrence Crawford, I'd stay a free agent. Go to the highest bidder. If the Zone want me to come on there to fight Regis Prograis, because Regis Prograis said he wanted to fight Terrence Crawford, I'll go get that bag and go fight Regis Prograis. If Earl Spence is not ready yet, if Keith Thurman not ready when you want to set your fight date, if they not ready, I guess you could fight Boots, you could fight Ortiz. Those guys are younger guys that's still on the uptick. So I'm not gonna say that right away Terrence Crawford has to fight one of those guys. He has to get these other guys that he should be fighting to see if they want to fight first, and then you can go to those guys and see if they, try to make a fight with them. They're hungry, so they're gonna want to fight. So you know what I'm saying? They'll probably say yes. Ortiz and Enos, I'm guaranteed that they will say yes. But let's try to get these other fights first. Let's try to get the Earl Spence fight first. That's number one. That's 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D. Then if Earl Spence don't want to fight, then you can see Keith Thurman gonna need a tune-up because Keith Thurman ain't been in the ring in a while. So like I said, he can either go to PBC and say, well, I'll sign a 1-fight deal or a 2-fight deal. And in my 2-fight deals, this is what I want. I want Keith Thurman and I want Earl Spence. I want Keith Thurman and I want Earl Spence. Because those are only two welterweights that matter over there at PBC now. Shawn Porter retired. You beat Shawn Porter. Danny Garcia, Danny Garcia want to go to 154. But Danny Garcia is not before those two guys. Keith Thurman has one loss to Pacquiao. He was a former unified champion. And Earl Spence is the current unified champion. So beating those guys is a bigger win than beating Danny Garcia, in my opinion. But we're not going to be trying to take credit away from Terrence Crawford. See, Ldbc, y'all at work again. You know what I'm saying? Y'all did this y'all try to take, y'all had a campaign of months and months and months and months trying to take credit away from Tyson Fury when he stopped Deontay Wilder in the second fight. When his trainer threw in the towel, this is the same scenario. When his trainer threw in the towel, and that's one of the ways you can stop a fight. That's one of the ways a fighter can get stopped if the trainer say he had enough. When his trainer threw in the towel, y'all came up with, oh, Tyson Fury cheated, all this, all that. Never was no evidence. Deontay Wilder, I got evidence. Y'all gonna see. Okay, so why didn't Deontay Wilder file a lawsuit yet against Tyson Fury? If Tyson Fury got egg weights in his gloves, he shouldn't be fighting no more. He shouldn't be fighting anymore. If this man has egg weights in his gloves, he shouldn't be fighting anymore. So now y'all trying to do it to Terrence Crawford. Y'all trying to go on a campaign. I see what y'all are doing with the campaign. They're trying to say, well, Terrence Crawford, your victory is diminished because Kenny Porter threw in the towel. We think it was fixed. Okay, if the fight is fixed, show me that the fight is fixed. If the fight is fixed, then I'm with you. If the fight ain't fixed, if you don't have no evidence, what are y'all talking about? What are you talking about a fight that's fixed without evidence? What I seen was Shawn Porter went in there, fought hard, gave Terrence Crawford a lot of trouble in the first 5 or 6 rounds. Terrence Crawford started getting his rhythm, and the fight started changing. And Shawn Porter didn't do anything that Shawn Porter doesn't normally do to other fighters. Give him a tough fight until the fight is over. Shawn Porter did what Shawn Porter did. Terrence Crawford did what he did. Shawn Porter did what he did by coming in there, being strong, being high-willed, having a lot of endurance, throwing punches from different angles, getting in your chest, going to your body, going to your head. And Terrence Crawford did what he did, stop you. That's just what happened. And I know, and y'all know what's coming. The next thing that's coming is Errol Spence. Now it's Errol Spence needs 2 tune-ups. I'm hearing people say that I'm saying he at least needed. I'm with you that he need at least a tune-up. He has to test the eye and see if his eye is okay. Now, Errol Spence is saying he doesn't need a tune-up. So if he doesn't need a tune-up, if he tried to go straight to Terrence Crawford, just like Jeff Mayweather said, he gonna get beat. He gonna get beat bad. And I don't want no excuses when he lose. I don't want to hear it was his eye. He was in the car accident. He didn't beat him because he didn't beat the real Errol Spence because Errol Spence had a car. That has nothing to do with me. That has nothing. If he step in the ring, he's saying he's ready. If he step in the ring, he's saying he's ready. Because guess what? If he go in there and he beat Terrence Crawford, y'all gonna say, well, man, Terrence Crawford lost to a guy that they had a car accident in a torn retina. See, so you can't have it both ways. So that's why I say I want Terrence Crawford to go in there and stop the man, because that's the only way he's gonna get some credit. If he go in there and stop Earl, because Earl never been stopped, never been beat. If he go in there and stop Earl, then he gonna get some credit. If he don't, you know what I'm saying? If he go in there and stop him, he gonna get some credit. But you know what I'm saying? It is what it is at this point. I mean, Errol Spence did it to himself. He the one, made a bad decision with the whole car thing. You know what I'm saying? So that has nothing to do with Terrence. Terrence is on his stuff right now. Got his stuff together, training. If he's not training, he taking his kids to the wrestling meets, his boys, and doing what he does as a family man. You got to stay grounded. You got to get grounded. Errol Spence got kids too, so you got to ground yourself at some point. He get the belts. Yeah, I mean, so, and I don't know what's up with the Ugas thing. I don't know what Ugas doing. Maybe Ugas should have been fought his number one contender by now. I mean, what's taking so long? He knew he had a number one contender, what, a month ago? Why did he fight? You know what I'm saying? He's holding everything up because now it's some discrepancy whether he got to fight his number one contender. He doesn't have to fight number one contender. It'd be good if Terrence Crawford could fight Ugas. And now they both got 2 belts. Y'all come in and y'all fight for undisputed. Because I think that PBC is gonna have Errol Spence fight Ugas next. I don't think they're gonna let him come straight to Terrence Crawford. I don't think so. I think they're smarter than that. They're gonna let him fight Ugas and see if he can get that belt from Ugas. It'll be surprising to me if he just come back and fight Terrence Crawford just off of you know what I'm saying? And by the time he fight Terrence Crawford, he gonna be in like what, almost 2 years out the ring. But like I said, man, the excuses is over with. They should have look. And then Keith Thurman is coming out saying that he wants to fight Terrence Crawford. That's good news. Keith Thurman want to get back in the gym, but he's gonna need a tune-up. So, and meanwhile, while Terrence Crawford waiting on these guys to get a tune-up, he probably need to say, okay, come on, Boots, come on, Ortiz, one of y'all, I'll fight one of y'all. It was a guy on earlier said that Boots is going to dominate Terrence Crawford. Okay. I haven't seen. I see that Boots got some talent. Now, what I see is that he's very aggressive. He's fast. He looks strong. Is he ready to beat Terrence Crawford? No. Him or Ortiz? No. If they get in the ring with Terrence Crawford over these next 2 years, they're going to lose. He got too much experience. His skill set, if you're going to say Boots got a great skill set, Terrence Crawford's skill set is above his, is above Ortiz. Experience is above both of them. And Terrence Crawford is not broke down. So that's the thing. Yeah, Terrence Crawford is 34, but he's not broke down. He hasn't been in wars. He stays tuned up. He relatively stays busy. He gonna beat both of those guys, and if they fight him in the next 2 years, see, Terrence Crawford is a guy that see the guys in the welterweight division. I think they made a mistake by not facing Terrence Crawford earlier when he first came to welterweight. Now he's acclimated at the weight. He's a full-fledged welterweight. You see him against Shawn Porter. He looked strong, pushing Shawn Porter back. The best time to catch him was that first 1 or 2 fights when he first entered the welterweight division before he got acclimated to the weight. It's over now. I got Terrence Crawford. I bet Terrence Crawford against any welterweight. And he may not stop everybody, but he's going to beat them. He's going to go down as the best welterweight of this generation. And if he become undisputed at 147, when he become undisputed at 147, I would like to see him go to 154. He been flirting with saying he want to go to 154. Can he beat the Charlo if the Charlo is undisputed there? That'd be a great fight. Charlo is strong. Charlo used to look really good as a boxer. Now Charlo is kind of confused on what he should be or what he wants to be. Do you want to be a boxer puncher? Do you want to be a boxer? Do you want to be a puncher? I just think he's just all screwed up. He should have won that undisputed fight. If any fight that you should have been ready for, it should have been that. That's what everything culminating in your career should have culminated on that night of beating a good fighter, but you should have been so ready and fine-tuned. Everything you did up to your career should have led you to the moment to where you're going to put on the best performance of your career. That's undisputed, man. You got to be ready to put on the best performance of your career. And to me, that tells me something. That tells me that it's something wrong there. It's something that's not there all the way. It's something that's either distracting him, or he may not be as good as we say, or as we think he is. I think both of the Charlos are good. You know what I'm saying? I think both of the Charlos can go. It's just that they're both high strung. They're angry all the time. They'll say they're not angry. Man, y'all angry all the time. And every little thing gets under their skin. Like every little thing gets under their skin. It's okay if people criticize you. That's okay. They don't want to be criticized. They don't want you to say nothing to them. One of the guys tried to take somebody's phone in the crowd. They pushed up on Jared Hurd. And that's another thing with me about the Charlos. See, the energy that you put out is the energy that's going to come back to you. That's how the universe works. If you're going to put out this energy that I'm tough, I want to fight you all the time, and we're not talking about inside the ring, we're talking about outside the ring, you got to be careful with that, because it's going to be somebody that's they're not going to care that you're a fighter. They're going to try to end you. So the Charlos have to be careful on how to carry themselves outside that ring, man, because inside of the ring is rules. Outside the ring, there are no rules outside the ring. Got to be careful with that. But the whole Teofimo Lopez, I wanted to talk about him earlier. I didn't get a chance to talk about Teofimo Lopez. It's a whole thing. It's, people are split down the middle with him and Devin Haney. I heard an interview with Teofimo Lopez said that he thinks he's been at 135 too long, that he's ready to move up. And if Devin Haney wants to fight him, Devin Haney has to fight him at 140. I'm okay with that. There's some people saying, well, that he's ducking Devin Haney at 135. He just said he'll fight the man at 140. He said he's too big for the weight. Now, I heard Teofimo Lopez's father a couple fights ago said that his son is too big for 135, that he's struggling making weight. So if you're struggling making weight, it's time to go. You know what I'm saying? You know your body. You know how your body reacts. You know if you having a hard time in camp with the weight. It's time to go. Teofimo Lopez, all of those guys, Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson, all of those guys are big 135ers anyway. They all big 135ers anyway. They all shrinking down to make the weight 135, 130. And they all going to end up at welterweight. All of them going to probably end up at welterweight. At some point in their career, they're going to end up at welterweight. And Teofimo Lopez talking about going to 154. He was talking about that he can fight at 154. So, you know, they already shrinking down to get to 135. You can't tell me that these guys walk around at 140. I can tell you that they don't. You can't tell me that they walk around at 150. They probably walking around closer to 160, if not 160. And then you got to get down to 135. I mean, that's a lot of weight to lose. So if he says he still want to fight Devin Haney, but Devin Haney got to fight him at 140, so be it. Who cares? As long as they fight. Now, would rather see them fight for undisputed? Yeah, I would rather see them fight for undisputed because that would have been a big fight. That would have been a big event. But if one guy can't make 135 no more, then who are me to tell him to stay at 135 to fight another fight at 135? That can be the fight that ruins him at 135. If you stay too long, it might bite you in the butt. But long as they fight, long as I see it's plenty of fights that we didn't see at the weight that the guys started at and they fought, you know, when they moved up. It's fights that we had like that. So let's just appreciate that they're gonna fight anyway at 140. You know, Josh Taylor is the king at 140. So, you know, they will have to see Josh Taylor. All roads lead to Josh Taylor at 140. He is the king at 140. That's a king at his weight class because he has all the titles. There's no one out there that can say that they are a champ or, you know, that's a champion at 140. He is the man at 140. Like I said, Earl Spence is he's number one at 147, but he's not the king of the 47 division. We don't have a king. He don't have all the belts. So it's still plenty of fights there. So yeah, man, we got to start giving these fighters their just due and start coming up with all these theories, these unfound theories. Now, if you have proof, okay, I'm all with it. I'm all with the proof if you have proof. But just to try to diminish what someone did because your favorite fighter didn't do it, or the guy that you wanted to do it didn't do it, or you mad at Terrence Crawford because he don't want to give you interviews 78. Who cares? That man don't have to give y'all blue blood. He don't have to give y'all interviews. Look, if a fighter don't want to give you interviews, the fighter just don't want to give you interviews. I mean, what's the problem? What's the problem if a fighter do not want to give you an interview? I don't get that. It's like, why are you mad because a guy don't want to give you an interview? So if he don't give you an interview and kiss your butt, then you got to kill him. Because I thought the Ldbc was for black fighters to come and get a fair shot, a fair shake, get some public support because that's what y'all said from their own, right? But I hear y'all kill black fighters all the time, and retired black fighters like Andre Ward. Y'all always killing Andre Ward, Timothy Bradley, killing Timothy Bradley. Y'all kill Terrence Crawford, kill the man because he don't get y'all an interview. Even though I see him give black reporters interviews, y'all kill the Charlos. You know what I'm saying? The only people that y'all don't kill is the only people y'all talk highly of is Earl Spence and Deontay Wilder. Those are only two black fighters I hear y'all talk highly of. And now, I mean, yeah, Devin Haney. It's Devin Haney now, but this is my thing. Y'all don't like Eddie Hearn. Devin Haney is essentially, when he fights on the zone. Y'all say y'all don't like the zone, but y'all like Devin Haney because he fights on the zone, but Demetrius Andrade fights on the zone, and people killing him because he's fighting on the zone. I mean, it's weird, man. It's a weird way the way y'all think, man. It's just weird. It's baffling how you can say, well, we're going to get away from all the other people because we think they're racist, and we're going to create our own platform for black fighters, and then we're going to kill black fighters. We are going to just run them through the mud. I mean, okay. I mean, to each their own. I mean, you can do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Each their own with their own platform. It's just some things just have to be said, and it's just like it was a whole delusional thing with Deontay Wilder. That was delusion 101, man. The man lost to Tyson Fury the second fight clearly. I mean, it's right there on tape when he lost to Tyson Fury, got stopped, and y'all went on a campaign on how Tyson Fury cheated, and nobody had no proof other than some angles on a fight of some gloves, slowing it down, looking at the imprint of a glove and say it was something inside the glove. I mean, wild accusations, just wild accusations, man. You lose your credibility. I mean, credibility is lost when you start going off the rails like that. What's up, Hype Law? You can hit the link and come in if you want to come in. If you want to say your piece. Hold on, put the link. Yeah, man. To me, it's just unfounded. But Earl Spence is on call. He's on notice. It's time to step up and fight Terrence Crawford. Y'all have two like opponents that y'all fought, Carol Brook and Shawn Porter. Now it's just time for y'all to get in the ring to see who's the best. Because we can all have opinions on who we think is the best, but we cannot get that definitive answer until you get in the ring. I'm all about guys getting in the ring, proving in the ring, talking about it. That's great. It's better to talk about it after the fight is signed, because now we can really truly, what's up, Bostonazes? We can really truly see who's great between those two. It's in this whole campaign on saying that the fight was fixed. How are you trying to? I'm talking to the Ldbc. How y'all trying to say that y'all with the black fighter if y'all gonna go on a campaign about we think the fight was fixed? How is that helping the black fighter? I mean, how is that helping the black fighter? Because that's what y'all say, that y'all about the black fighter. So how is that helping him saying, and he's either, Terrence Crawford is either on some people's list of number 1, number 2 pound for pound fighter in the world, and to say that when the man have his, in y'all eyes, his greatest victory, to say now that it's tainted because it's fixed, or it's tainted because the trainer threw in the towel, even though the trainer has a right to throw in the towel, and that's one of the ways you can stop a fight. I mean, I'm trying to figure this out. Like, make this make sense, that this man goes in there and do what y'all said he couldn't do. He stopped the great Shawn Porter, the granite chin, right? The guy that never gets stopped. He went in there, he completed that mission, and when you come off the mission, people say, "Well, I didn't see it. I didn't see that. I was blind. I didn't see it." Like I said, man, it's wild, man. But all Terrence got to keep on doing. Just keep beating these guys. Just keep winning. That's all. I mean, it's some people that's still not gonna like that you, what you achieved as far as beating these guys. Even though, people said that PBC got the best welterweights, and now he's free agent to go over there to PBC and fight those best welterweights, and we can see what's what. It's like I said, it's only 2 more left. Well, it's 3 more left because Ugas does have a title, so it's 3 more left. It's Ugas, Keith Thurman, and Errol Spence. If he can beat and fight all 3 of those guys, he cleaned out the welterweight division. You know what I'm saying? If he can beat those guys, he clinked out the welterweight division, and then we can go on from there. We can go on from there and see who's next. 154, Charlo at 154. I think Terrence Crawford could beat Charlo at 154. I think he could beat Demetrius Andrade at 160, and Bosnages know that. Bosnages know I believe Terrence Crawford could beat Demetrius Andrade at 160. If Terrence do not fight PBC fighters, who he gonna fight? If he doesn't fight PBC fighters, you still got the young welterweights, right? You still got Ortiz, you still got Enos. Regis Prograis said he wanted to fight Terrence Crawford. I remember they were talking about fighting when Terrence was at 140. They was talking about that Regis wanted to fight Terrence Crawford. So it's some fight. Like, if he don't fight PBC fighters, there's still some fights out there. Josh Taylor is still out there, the king of 140. He can move up. Josh Taylor is like 5'10". He's a big guy at 140. He can move up. It's fights out there for Keith Thurman, without PBC. But yeah, it's a lot of good fighters at PBC that, it'd be some good matchups. Conor Benn, zone. Conor Benn is out there. I want to see him against Rashidi Ellis. Okay, well, fight Rashidi Ellis. Yeah. I said Taylor. Taylor can move up. That's a good fight. That's a good fight between him and Taylor. Garcia. Taylor is the last. Taylor is undisputed at 140, and Terrence Crawford was the last guy undisputed at 140. That'd be a good marketing tool. That'd be a good fight. But like I said, the number A, B, and C, and D is Errol Spence. Try to get the Errol Spence fight first, and then everything else works off of that. If you can't get the Errol Spence fight, then you just go down the line. AB, you know what? I would like to see him in AB, but I'm not gonna put AB in the top 3 or 4 that I want to see him fight. But yeah, AB is in there. He might be. AB is mostly for the entertainment factor, because of the press conference is going to be more interesting than the fight, because he gonna brutalize AB, but the press conference is probably going to be more. It's going to be more entertaining than the fight. But AB is not. He's not in my top 5. What I want to see. I want to see Taylor stay at 140 and wait on those guys moving. If Taylor stay at 140 and wait for Timofimo and Devin and Tank and what's my guy name? Shakur Stevenson. Yeah. Because there is some guys coming. If Josh Taylor stays, if he doesn't get the itch to want to fight Terrence Crawford, I don't know how old is Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor might be in his 30s. I mean, if he in his 30s and he want a big fight, he don't feel like waiting on those guys. Let me see, Josh Taylor. Let me see how old Josh Taylor is. Tank is already there. Okay, Josh Taylor only 30. So Josh Taylor got time to wait. He can wait on those guys. He's only 30 years old. So he can wait on those guys to come up. Tank is already there, but we all know Tank ain't finna fight Josh Taylor no time soon. Mayweather got Josh. See, don't even name Tank. Tank is on a different schedule than everybody else, than all them other young fighters. He's going to move how Floyd Mayweather wants him to move. And you know what? I'm gonna stop asking Tank to fight certain fighters because I know how Mayweather wants to move. So I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop asking Tank to fight certain fighters. I'm not gonna expect him to fight certain fighters. I'm not gonna do it. Tank is gonna move how Mayweather want him to move, unless he just tell Mayweather, no, 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 I want this fight. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know how the contract is structured. What's up, Phil? You try to get in? Come back in again, Phil. I'll let you in. I put the link back in there. But yeah, if y'all want to get in and speak y'all piece, y'all can get in. I went on my little rant. It was another fight I wanted to talk about. I know Omar Figueroa brother is about to fight. AB isn't the AB AB is not with PBC no more. Who is he with? I thought AB was still with PBC. As far as I know, he's still with PBC. I don't know. You know, Adrian Broner does some, some things sometimes. I know he was calling out Al Heyman, talking about that he wanted more money for fights. So I don't know. AB had his chances, man. AB should have beat Maidana. He wasn't. I don't know. He probably took Maidana lightly. That was supposed to be his Gotti moment. That was supposed to catapult him into pay-per-view. He dropped the ball. Then they built him back up. He fought Shawn Porter, lost. They built him back up again. He fought Manny Pacquiao, lost. So AB should have anything to cry about. Like, dude, they built you up 3 times and they gave you 3 legitimate shots, and you lost all 3. Oh, and you lost against Mikey Garcia. Then AB lost against dude. You had plenty of shots. And I mean, that boy AB had a lot of shots. They gave you a lot of chances to do what you could have done. And all 3 times you lost, man. They can't fight for you. All they can do is get you the fights, and you got to go in there and perform. You didn't perform. So that's not on PBC. PBC used their influence, use their platform, their strong backing, and they got you the Manny Pacquiao fight, man. When a lot of people was trying to get the Manny Pacquiao fight, you got the Manny Pacquiao fight. You got the Manny Pacquiao fight before Keith Thurman. You got it before Ugas. You got it before Terrence Crawford. You got it before Earl Spence, and you just dropped the ball, man. And I thought you had chances to do some things in the Manny Pacquiao fight. You just did what you always do. Don't let your hands go. Ain't that the story of AB career since he got to 147? Don't let his hands go, especially in his big fights. What? Mikey Garcia didn't let his hands go. Not Adrian Broner. Shawn Porter didn't let his hands go, and he dropped Shawn Porter. Wasn't he the first person to drop Shawn Porter? I think AB was the first person to drop Shawn Porter. So you didn't let your hands go in that fight. Maybe you could have stopped. Maybe you could have been the first person to stop Shawn Porter if you would let your hands go. So no, I don't feel sorry for AB. I don't. I really don't. The last thing for AB is getting stopped too. That's the last thing for Adrian Broner. Is the last thing for him to do is to get stopped. He didn't did everything else didn't happen to him. He didn't got beat up by Marcus Maidana. He lost to this person. His last thing is getting stopped. Because that's one thing he can say. No one ever stopped me. Yeah, so like I said, Omar Figueroa brother is about to fight. I think he's fighting Saturday. I want to see that fight. Because I seen a couple of his fights already. Little dude can go. He's a high volume fighter. He doesn't have one punch knockout power or concussive power, but he's a grinder. He grinds on you. He's a high impact fighter, and he's fighting another guy that's supposed to be good. So I'll be looking at that fight. to close out the year, who else we got left? We don't have any more big fights left this year, right? I think Shawn Porter and Terrence Crawford was the last big fight this year. So, we looking forward to next year. Next year we should have Joshua Usyk. We should have Earl Spence, Terrence Crawford. We should have I know Canelo moving to cruiserweight. We should have Demetrius Andrade go ahead and call out Benavidez so he can fight Benavidez. Look, let's have the battle of the two guys that supposedly Canelo is ducking fight each other. And then Canelo fight the winner. The two guys that people say that Canelo is ducking, the most feared people that nobody wants to fight them, nobody wants to give them a shot. Phil, you got to come back. I don't know. Let me see. Maybe it's my let me put it back in. Let me put that link back in. Maybe it's the link. I don't know. I put it back in, Phil. You can hit it and see. Could be the link. I'm copying it and pasting it. So Jake Paul got a fight on his hands with that Fury brother, Tommy Fury. So we're gonna see what happened with Jake Paul. Tommy Fury can fight. He can fight a little bit. He can he's definitely better than Tyron Woodley. I don't know if he's explosive, but he's more technically sound than Tyron Woodley. He gonna be more technically sound than anybody that Jake Paul has fought. He dissed Ldbc, but thought he was still with. Nah, he dissed Ldbc. He dissed Mayweather. Broner, Broner, man. Broner always talking his mess, man. He always out there, getting mad and dissing somebody. But I think he's still with PBC. I think Eddie Hearn offered him a lot of money to come to the zone. I think he'll offer him a nice little pot to come to the zone. But yeah, man, AB, they have to build him up again, like for the fourth time. I don't know any fighter that had 4 build-ups. Benavidez, Triple G versus Andrade, Benavidez versus Jacobs. Okay. That'd be a good fight. Benavidez versus Jacobs. When Jacobs fought my guy, shoot, what's the dude name, man? His name is on my tongue, man. What's the dude name, man? It just lost to Jaime Magia. When Jacobs fought him, I thought he beat Jacobs. I ain't gonna even lie. I thought he beat Jacobs, man. Gabe Rosado. I thought Gabe Rosado beat Jacobs. And Jacobs did not look good in that fight at all. Jacobs looked like he was past it. And I know Jacobs moved up to 168, right? Jacobs was a big 160. Canelo going to 200 to prep for the Paul fight. To prep, he don't need to prep for the Paul fight. Canelo concuss Jake Paul, man. Canelo will put Jake Paul in the goddamn dirt. He don't have to go to 200 to prep for no Jake Paul. That's for sure. Pack. Yeah, man. So Jake Paul fighting Tommy Fury before this year's out. Pack had 4 build-ups. Did he have 4 build-ups? I know he got knocked out early in his career a couple times. And then he came to America. He was on a run. Then he lost to Morales. Did he have to get build up and beat Morales? No, because he went back in there and fought Morales, and then he beat Morales. Now, the build up to me is when somebody lose to a fighter, and they look at you and say, "Okay, you're not at that level," and then you got to fight 2 more other guys before you get back to fighting at that level. See, when Pacquiao lost to Morales, he went back and fought Morales. I don't think let me see. When Pacquiao fought Morales, didn't he have an immediate rematch, or did he fight somebody else in between? So I don't think Pacquiao had build-ups. Let me see. I know early in his career. You can make that case early in his career because he did get knocked out a couple times early in his career. Let me see. Let me see. I know early in his career, so okay. See, when he lost to Eric Morales, okay, he fought Hector Venezuelas and then he fought Eric Morales. That was one fight in between. And then he suffered his next loss against Timothy Bradley. Then he fought Juan Manuel Marquez. To me, that's not a you're not building. You can't be building nobody up against Marquez. And then he fought Brandon Rios. Then he fought Timothy Bradley. Then he lost to Mayweather, and he fought Timothy Bradley right after he lost to Mayweather. So no, Pacquiao didn't have no 3 build-up. He ain't had no 3 build-ups. Then he lost to Jeff Horn. He fought Lucas. You could say right here after he lost to Jeff Horn, you could say this was a build-up kind of. He fought Lucas Matisse and he fought Adrian Broner. Then he fought Keith Thurman. I mean, did Manny Pacquiao probably had I say one time he had to get built up. Yeah, when he got knocked out against Marquez. Yeah, when he got knocked out against Marquez, right? Hold on, the Marquez fight. Yeah, so he lost against Timothy Bradley, which I thought he won, and then he got knocked out against Marquez. After he got knocked out against Marquez, he fought Brandon Rios, and then he beat Timothy Bradley. So if you want to say they had to build him up, he fought Brandon Rios, and then Timothy Bradley. Then he fought Chris Algieri. So he got that Timothy Bradley fight in there, and then he fought Mayweather. If he had that Timothy Bradley fight in there, and that was somebody else like a B-level fighter, then I say that they were building him up. They built him up to Floyd Mayweather. Okay. Yeah, after he lost got knocked out, they built him up to Floyd Mayweather. Okay, I mean, okay, you could say that.
Hey man,
What's up?
yes he did, man. He had 4 build-ups, man. What you talking about, man? He got knocked out.
Name the build-ups.
He got knocked out in the
Early.
early
Yeah.
stage of his career.
Mm-hmm.
Build all the way back up.
Mm-hmm.
He got in the mix with Eric Morales and the Mexican guys, because this is what he's trying to do. Eric Morales his ass. Then he had to go to a drawing board, fight another one, and he did right his wrong by rematching Eric Morales. So he didn't let it linger too long, right?
Mm-hmm.
The next one, Timothy Bradley upset the part so bad they had to get WBO to goddamn rescore. He took that shit to trial.
He said the trial.
Hey, he took that shit to trial. So I mean, okay, that fucked up to Floyd. Then he tried to be slick, and then he tried to fuck with Marquez again and got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah,
It
clean, cold.
went back around. That's 4 bills.
See, this what I look at it being a build. When I say a build up, you fighting guys that are not on your level 2 and 3 times before you get back to fighting a guy that's on your level. When every time Pacquiao lost, he fought one fight and then he fought a guy on his level. He didn't let that stuff go on 2 and 3 fights. Then he fights somebody on his level. He didn't let when Adrian Broner was like 2-3 fights until he fought somebody. Let me look at Adrian Broner's build-ups because Adrian Broner build-ups are more atrocious.
Ain't nobody had more than Shane Mosley though.
Shane, hold on, man. Shane continuously fought top guys though.
Shane had so many
right?
build-ups. Man, they winking out and Winky Wright beat his ass, man. That man supposed to win that fight, remember? So he could fight Trinidad.
I get it. I get it.
Posted.
Let me see how many times Adrian Broner been built up. Okay, Adrian Broner first loss. We know Marquez, right? So this is this is what I call. I mean, Maidana. Yeah. This what I call a true build up. This man fought Carlos Molina, Emmanuel Taylor, John Molina, and then he fought Shawn Porter.
No, man,
that's a true build up.
Adrian Broner just excessive with it. That's ridiculous. That's true. I mean, goddamn. I mean, yeah. I mean, it take 2 years for Adrian Broner to build back up because his weight issues, pregnancy issues, stripper issues, just being Broner. Pacquiao and other guys or Bradley, people with discipline, they don't take all day to build up. Even Earl Spence, I give Earl Spence credit. He came from the car race and he getting back right in the thick of things. Mm-hmm. So Adrian Broner is a silly case where he sits and waits for a
Now
long.
you said Shane Mosley had. I ain't gonna let you do Shane Mosley like that, man.
Shane
Let me
Mosley.
see. Let me see, man.
Shane Mosley got whooped up by
Okay.
Vernon.
Yeah, we know he lost against Vernon Forrest. Okay, that's his first loss, and then he fought Vernon Forrest right back though.
And hold on, it got whooped up again.
Yeah, but he didn't have time to build up. Where's the build up at?
He lost his pound for pound status.
Okay.
He had to go into build back up and fight Oscar.
Well, he fought some Royal Marquez in between Oscar.
And then when he fought Oscar,
he beat Oscar.
But he got the Balco shit.
Yeah.
Remember
but the Balco stuff came back later. We look at that fight down the road later because the Balco shit came like 3 and 4 years later. That's when we found out he was on drugs.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No, that was going on through it didn't start at the beginning of the trilogy that they had. No, hold on. How many times they fought?
Twice.
It didn't call it the little duel match that they had. It didn't because third fight, Shane wanted more money and Oscar was acting like a bitch. Yeah, you're right. So twice, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Balco was coming out right around there. Then he tried that shit against Winky Wright, and Winky Wright bet against himself as twice.
He fought Winky Wright twice. Now I can say this. He had a build up after he lost to Winky Wright. That was his true build up because he fought David Estrada, Jose Luis Cruz, Fernando Vargas twice, Luis Collazo, and then he fought Miguel Cotto. So that was a true build up to Miguel Cotto.
And then he had another one after the Cotto fight because what put him back in is beating Margarito. Because remember, he was out the equation and they was trying to build him back in to fight Floyd as well. Even Floyd said that. Floyd said, we know they had to build Shane Mosley back up to fight me. That's the first time a person called out a build up.
So you saying after he lost to Cotto, he had to get built up to Floyd Mayweather. Even though he beat Antonio Margarito.
That's what put him back in the game. Because he was the underdog. He's supposed to got smashed. If Shane would have got smashed by Cotto and Margarito, those two hot guys, he wouldn't have been able to fight nobody, but probably he would have had to fight like Paul Williams or Kermit Cintron. Or Joshua Clottey. That man, he was.
But his build-ups one is as egregious as Adrian Broner's, though. Adrian Broner's was egregious, boy.
Adrian Broner is the build-up king. But I'm talking about.
Hell no, man. Is Adrian Broner getting built up again?
Man, Adrian Broner got that build-up, rebuild shit on lock. The number of times.
I get it. I get what you're saying, dog.
Adrian Broner got longevity in bodies. That boy build-ups is long.
Well, now Adrian Broner did win his last fight, so they building him up again after the Pacquiao loss.
That's 5 right there.
Man, dude. But see, another thing with Adrian Broner is too. Adrian Broner is a draw because Adrian Broner markets himself very well, and plus, he's a knucklehead. So he gets more chances. I'm gonna tell you this: if Adrian Broner went to the zone right now, Adrian Broner would be the biggest thing on the zone.
He would. He'd
be the biggest thing on the zone, and they will give him a nice bag. I'm telling you, he'll go on there. I believe he'll beat Regis Prograis.
I think he'll be good with those guys in 140. I mean, but I like him against Josh Taylor. Win, lose, draw. I like that fight for him. I think that's safe. Ain't gonna spark him. Progress. I don't think Progress will spark him. I like that. I like that 140 range right there.
What do you think about him against Teofimo Lopez if he move up to 140?
See,
or
that's
Devin.
Good. That's a good one. Them are good.
You like those?
I'm listening in. Let me slide over to I'm finna slide the line real quick. I ain't on my laptop.
Oh, okay.
I'm here.
Yeah, so I think him and Tank. That'd be a good fight because him and Tank was talking about fighting a long time ago. That'd be a good fight. Him and Tank Davis. I like to see that. Broner would not beat Regis Taylor. T.O. come on, Broner. I don't have I don't have Broner beating none of those guys. We just saying those would be good fights for Adrian Broner. I don't think Adrian Broner will get stopped by none of those guys. Adrian Broner mess around and mess with Crawford, he gonna get stopped. That'd be his first time getting stopped. So I don't think he'll do that. But fighting those guys, I think Adrian Broner can compete. I mean, will he lose? Probably, because we know what Adrian Broner does when he get in the ring. I just think Adrian Broner mismanaged his own career, because I ain't gonna say mismanaged, because if a guy young and ambitious and want to fight, let him fight. So I'm not gonna say mismanaged. I'm not gonna say that. I just think he just dropped the ball versus Marcus Maidana. He should have beat Marcus Maidana. That was his coming out party. You know what I'm saying? That was Adrian Broner's. Now, should have Adrian Broner probably stayed at 135, 140, at least 140? Probably. You know what I'm saying? Probably. If he just stayed at 140 another year or so, it would have been different. But he wanted to be on pay-per-view. And in order for them to build him up big on pay-per-view, he had to go to 47. 47 is the prime division. So, and we all know who was there at the time: Keith Thurman, Earl Spence, I believe Danny Garcia was there. Yeah, Danny Garcia was there already. Shawn Porter was there. Now, would he have fought those guys if you'd have beat Maidana, one of those guys on pay-per-view? I believe they always was thinking that he had a chance against Shawn Porter. I believe that Shawn Porter would have been the first guy, a real guy at 47. One of those guys, I believe he would have fought Shawn Porter or Danny Garcia. I don't think he would have fought Keith Thurman or Earl Spence in his, first pay-per-view fight, at welterweight. But he dropped the ball. And like we were just discussing, the man, this is his fifth build-up. And if he get another build-up right here, this would be Adrian Broner's fifth build-up. But Adrian Broner does have the marketing, that he markets himself pretty good. So you got to give him credit for doing that, for being able to, continuously put himself out there in the mix. It's people still believe in Adrian Broner. As much as Adrian Broner has dropped the ball, it's still people that believe in Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner, to me, was better at the lower weight classes. He was letting his hands go more. He was dominating guys more, doing his thing. But, all fighters can't move up, man. It just is what it is. All fighters do not have the skill to move up. And a lot of fighters don't carry their power up. That's the biggest thing. If you can't keep the big guys off of you, then they don't have to respect you. You have to get them something to respect. Now, I'm not saying that Adrian Broner didn't bring up his power. I'm just saying, like, all guys can't move up because it's just things that happen as far as their skill set and their power and their speed. Sometimes that stuff doesn't move up with them, and then you're in trouble, because your advantages that you will have to keep those advantages. And if you don't have those advantages versus the big guys, they don't respect you, then they start walking you down, because they don't respect your power. But yeah, I think I'm probably gonna get up out of here in a minute, man. If anybody want to hit the link, come on and speak their piece, y'all can. I'm gonna be closing it out pretty soon. If you want to speak your piece, hit the link. Don't be scared. Hit that link. If you got time, hit that link. Next year, man, we should have some clarity on the welterweight division, the heavyweight division. We should just have some clarity. You know what I'm saying? We got two undisputed champions, Canelo. If Canelo don't drop all his titles at 168, and we got Josh Taylor. You know what I'm saying? I know it's not gonna last forever, because when you have all the titles, now you got all these mandatories that you gotta take, and now that you accumulated all the titles, you can't say, well, I want to fight that guy over there because he had the title. Can I skip my mandatory? Now you gotta fight your mandatories. So I know it's gonna be a lot of, eventually the titles are going to disperse again. I just want to see. I just want to get clarity on who's the best in the division. That's all I want. I just want, because a lot of the opinions are just our opinions, and how can you argue somebody's opinion, man, when the guys haven't fought? So the guys fighting, it gets rid of all that back and forth for who's the best, who's not the best. So yeah, man, I just want to get that cleared up. Let me see. I'm trying to look at these games at the same time being on this line. At the same time, man. But let me know what y'all think about. Yeah, if you haven't talked about your opinion about the Crawford Porter fight, you know what I'm saying? Let me know what y'all think about the Shawn Porter Terrence fight, the people that I haven't spoken to yet. Let your opinion be heard, man. I know Phil tried to get in. I don't know what happened, man. Let me see. Let me see if I can. Let me see. Everybody must be busy. Let me see, man. Who was that? Was that Hyplo at the top of this? I think that was. Yeah, that was Hyplo. Yeah, man. I'm about to close this down, man. It's been an hour. I've been on here rambling, but I'll get up with y'all later, man. I'm out.